Is this thing? Okay, go.
Is this thing working?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going great. Episode 70. We are 30 away from 100.
Yes,
We're
we
getting
are.
there very quickly, actually. But everybody, welcome to the show today. We got a great show for you. Make sure you please share, like, and follow us on all platforms. Podcast, Rumble, and YouTube really helps. Oh, and we have a new Substack. So if you could go and subscribe to Substack right now, I have it all set for free so you can see everything that we're doing every day. I write a little blog on it every afternoon, so you can go on there and check us out and see what's happening behind the scenes. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and where can you find it on Substack? What's the...
Substack.com/isthisthingworking.
There you go.
Very simple. But no, I'll be posting it, and you can read everything that you like. But we're going to start off with what's happening on the Hill yesterday and today. It's been kind of crazy. Christopher Wray, he testified in front of the Senate Select Intelligence Committee hearing on Monday, and he warns that a trafficking network across Biden's open southern border is tied to ISIS. But hear for yourself. Here's a video of Chris Wray testifying yesterday.
I guess what I would say is this. From an FBI perspective, we are seeing a wide array of very dangerous threats that emanate from the border, and that includes everything from the drug trafficking. The FBI alone seized enough fentanyl in the last 2 years to kill 270 million people. That's just on the fentanyl side. An awful lot of the violent crime in the United States is at the hands of gangs who are themselves involved in the distribution of that fentanyl.
But you're also seeing and tracking local law enforcement arresting and for example, the assault on the police officers in New York. All the reporting said they had ties to this gang in particular, but there's no doubt that people that were criminals in their country of origin have crossed that border and are now in the U.S. committing crimes.
Correct.
Is there now a black market emerging to sell? We've seen reports of a black market emerging selling fake Social Security cards, fake green cards. Have you seen reporting on that?
Well, certainly there is on the darknet, for example, there is a significant marketplace for different kinds of stolen identity.
What about in the street?
I think as well. Yeah.
Okay. And well, there are smuggling networks all over the world that specialize in moving people from all over the world, including from the Middle East, Central Asia, and so forth. Are we aware of any of these smuggling organizations are run by or are conducted by people that have ties, for example, to ISIS or other terrorist organizations?
So I want to be a little bit careful how far I can go in open session, but there is a particular network that has where some of the overseas facilitators of the smuggling network have ISIS ties that we're very concerned about, and that we've been spending an enormous amount of effort with our partners investigating. Exactly what that network is up to is something that's, again, the subject of our current investigation.
So he gets on here and he's asked about all the things that the FBI is aware of. First off, I got many questions with this. One of the first things is his credibility. You know, he's already got to appear before these committees in the Senate and the House, and he's lied over and over again. We've caught him in the lies, but now he comes up with this. Is he saying something that we don't already know?
The thing that gets me about this is he comes out with tidbits of little things, you know, and he mentions the smuggling network. Now, he said that the smuggling network has been going on for 2 years now. So, and they're still investigating. And he can only talk about certain things because they're still investigating. Okay, so that was the buried lead. The buried lead is you got nothing. You go in front of this Senate Select Intelligence Committee and you tell us that Biden's open southern border is tied to ISIS from a smuggling trafficking network. And that's it? That's it? Where's the people? Where's the proof?
But think about this. It's crazy that he comes out here and tries to tie this to ISIS. When? Now.
Yes.
Why now? Because, and this has already been proven with the Jim Caviezel movie Sound of Freedom, this trafficking operation goes a hell of a lot deeper than ISIS being tied to this?
Exactly.
There again, what about all of the drugs coming in, the fentanyl coming in? We've tied that to China. You didn't bring up China?
No, now it's all ISIS. See, they're turning it around so that you don't tie this to China. But China is the one that's making candy, this candy-looking drug here in the United States of America. So we know this already.
So they don't have to traffic it across, is what you're saying. Okay.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Okay, then maybe that's why he didn't bring up China. But
what I don't get, what, is ISIS going to carry bombs and target schools?
see, that's the thing. And yesterday, it wasn't in this video, but yesterday he testified to that also, that they even have intelligence that he could be carrying a bomb and targeting into a school. That's a pretty specific piece of knowledge.
Right? That they're investigating. Well, in my mind, this is a very serious accusation.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you're gonna tell us that you think that you have ISIS people that are going to carry a bomb and target schools? Where's this information coming from? I mean, that's big. That's our children you're messing with.
Well, sure.
And that's a fear tactic right there. That's what they do.
Well,
They make you afraid. Well, we need you to do this or they're going to target a school.
Well, sure.
So what are they wanting from us? What do you think they're wanting from us from that? What do you think that they want from us? Because they're threatening to target our children.
Here's what I believe all of this was yesterday. A lot of it was projection. And here's why I say this is because you claim that you've known about this human trafficking operation now for 2 years that's tied to ISIS. You say that you were asked about the fentanyl coming across the border and the deaths from the fentanyl. You say that you know all these things. I go back to asking at the start, I got a lot of questions about this. The first one was his credibility to begin with. Why the info now? Why haven't you said this? You've been in front of these committees many times in the past 2 years. Why ain't you said anything about it up until now?
And not just that, is he's been in front of these committees and leaked out this kind of information and it goes nowhere.
Right.
It's just a fear tactic.
Okay.
That the government, that the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the FBI, is playing on you, the American people.
Well, my question, my final question, I guess, with all this, why ain't you close the border? If you know these things, why haven't you pushed to close the border? To me, that question was lost in through the entire hearing, and it will probably be lost again today.
Yes.
In the hearing.
Yes, because you just tell us we have ISIS that's coming across our border, but you're not doing anything to close the border. So my bet here, flag this, everybody. My bet is this is to force our Congress to pass the border bill that we don't want.
Right.
This is where I think it's going flag.
I think a lot of what he said, too, especially when he got into the specifics of he could be carrying a bomb and targeting a school. Doesn't that sound kind of specific?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. But I just think it's projection.
Well, there you go. James thinks it's projection. I think it's a fear tactic. And what else is happening on the Hill today? This one's very important. Special Counsel Robert Hur testifies in front of the House Judiciary Committee today on Biden's classified document case. Be looking for this, and we will be discussing it in detail on tomorrow's show. What I think is really funny, and I'm going to say this, Republicans have jumped a pawn here. That's a pawn move. But let me tell you what, Democrats are going to steal that pawn right here. Because breaking news, AG Merrick Garland just this morning turned over to the Judiciary Committee the transcripts of Special Counsel Hur's interview with Biden, during which Hur said the president suffered severe lapses in memory. So guess what? Guess what that means, everybody? That Republicans are behind the 8 ball and have just now got the transcripts. So guess what?
Yep, they're not prepared for the hearing today. It's crazy.
Crazy. Yep, right there. Pawn swiped.
You know, really, though, I don't think they need a whole lot of time to prepare for this. Or what we're wanting to find out is if Joe Biden is cognitive enough to stand trial.
True.
I'm pretty sure that he is. I'm telling you, the doddering old fool thing is an act for the most part.
You think so?
Yes, I do. I really do think so.
Yeah, I wonder sometimes.
Maybe after 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, he gets confused. I can see that. But I think during the day, he knows exactly what's up.
Yeah, I don't know. Bears watching. But we'll be talking about this tomorrow. I'm pretty sure we'll be bringing you a couple videos to let you know how that went. But something that really has been on my heart lately, Peter Navarro, he was President Trump's pretty much right-hand man, did all his trade. He's the one that did the Navarro report on January 6th. Well, guess what? He's been ordered to prison for refusing to testify in front of the January 6th committee, and he's ordered to be there on March 19th. He's really trying to not be there. Navarro, who is urging a federal appeals court to stay the sentence while he attempts to overturn his conviction, faces the prospect of becoming the first top advisor to Trump to serve jail time for an offense related to the effort to subvert the 2020 election. This is it's a Politico article right here. So that's where I'm getting my information from. So it's a little slanted, as you could tell. He was convicted last year on 2 counts of contempt of Congress for refusing to provide documents and testimony to congressional investigators probing the root causes of the January 6th attack of the Capitol. Probing the root causes, of course, always. They subpoenaed him in February, and he cited executive privilege. President Trump had asked him to cite the executive privilege. So 2 months later, the Justice Department followed suit with criminal charges, and so he's been found guilty and is to serve 4 months in prison. So I just want everyone to just keep your eye on this right here. It's really big deal. It's a big deal if Peter Navarro goes to jail. But the buried lead in all this is, and what really got me when I was going through this, I read that it says Navarro is also fighting a civil lawsuit brought by the Justice Department demanding he return hundreds of records the government claims he improperly declined to deliver to the National Archives after leaving office. Some of those records pertain to the 2020 election.
Okay, look at this. Do you see when we talk about the games being played?
Mm-hmm.
Can you see the 2 different games being played right here?
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
You can. It's very
when you see, that's exactly right. When you see this, when they brought up the criminal charges of contempt against him, they already planned for this civil suit over here in case something went bad on the criminal charges side of it. Maybe he wouldn't have went to jail. Maybe nothing would have happened. Maybe the judge had seen it in Navarro's side and didn't sentence him to 4 months. What would they have immediately to come back on him at? It was a civil lawsuit. Because what they're after in all of this is what they're looking for in the civil lawsuit.
That's it. That's exactly what they want and why they keep lawfaring him. Because he has the Navarro report, which I mentioned already, and it is big, and they think that's theirs because he did it while he was in the administration.
Yeah.
So he's like, no, that's mine, and he's not giving it out to nobody. Nobody knows it. Nobody knows where it's at. We've read it. It's been online. It is all over online. But the original, if they can't take the original documents, they can't get rid of it and bury it.
There you go. And there's the strategy of the games that we're talking about, the difference in checkers and chess.
Mm-hmm.
Navarro, President Trump, Steve Bannon, and others, the ones that play chess with them, they don't like them.
No. They don't like them at all.
Yep.
And they don't like that they've been fighting back.
Exactly.
And that they've been playing chess right along with them.
That's the only way you're going to beat these guys.
And those are the ones, you're going to hear their names. You have. And Bannon, he's been all over the place lately. He was even trending on X yesterday because he's the one that they're afraid of. And Navarro is part of that group. So, of course, they're afraid of him too because they have the information to take them all down.
MAGA, America First, the War Room, the Posse, and they always bring receipts.
That's it. And we're proud to be a part. Yes, we are. But y'all heard yesterday that Chairman Loudermilk released 80 pages of his committee's January 6th initial findings report on Monday. His findings in this report is stunning, but it's only stunning to those that haven't been paying attention. Because as I read through this report, I noticed that we had been leaked every bit of this information. We knew already that Cheney was in a legal position in January 6th committee, that the select committee deleted records and hid evidence, that the select committee was designed to promote a political narrative, and that the select committee promoted star witness Hutchinson's testimony. Now, this is where I wanted to touch on right here, because her sensational story about Trump lunging at the steering wheel in an SUV after speech at the eclipse was directly refuted by the driver of the SUV. And what's so crazy is they hid his testimony.
Yeah.
So that, and didn't bring it out. There was four times that she went in to testify, and she testified until she finally got it right, I guess, because they used the number 4.
Right.
And didn't ever show the other ones, the other testimonies, or of anybody else that had come forward. They got her testimony, went in front of the world and put it on TV. And then 4 days later, guess what they do? They go and get the people that they should have already interviewed and interviewed them after the fact.
Late information like that gives the other side no time to prepare.
That's exactly right. 1 step forward, 3 steps backwards.
For the Republican Party.
What was also funny, Fani Willis shows up in the January 6th committee report, and especially in Loudermilk's report here, and it says there is evidence that Fulton County, Georgia, Fani Willis met with the illicit committee.
Yeah, and that she participated in numerous calls with the sham committee. The J6 committee even shared video recordings with Fani Willis's office, but deleted the recordings to prevent Republican lawmakers from gaining access to it.
And you know what's illegal? Deleting recordings.
That is tampering with evidence.
That is tampering with evidence. And why? Who's going to do what?
That's exactly correct. My point with that is tampering with evidence is illegal on the state and the federal level. Both sides of this is illegal. If this has been proven that they're tampering with the evidence, then there should be criminal charges brought against these people.
I know, as I was reading this report, all throughout it, I mean, it's everywhere. Everything is illegal that they've done. The amount of data that was deleted or erased is so much. They said it was 4 terabytes of data.
Right.
That is missing.
And by the spirit of the law and by the technicality of the law, 4 terabytes or 4 words, if you change or delete those to change the context, the meaning, or anything else about it, that's tampering with evidence. And in most cases, it's a fine punishable from 6 months to 3 years in jail. Now, like we go back to like yesterday when I asked about that, it's not so much the fact of somebody said, well, God dog, we got to hide that shit. It's not so much that person said we got to hide it. It's the person that went and hid it. That's who we need to find. And so far, the question hasn't been answered yet. Who actually took it and hid it?
Yeah, I don't understand either. And why delete them? Because, deleting them automatically looks like you're guilty. And if you're guilty, then where's the trial? Where's the court? I mean, I don't care if we have a 2-house majority. Where are the other people that went after Navarro and Bannon and everybody else that just happened to be a Trump supporter during this January 6th thing? The thousands of people that have been harassed over and over and over again. And it just makes me so angry.
Hey, just going back with that point right there, just going back with the FBI. Why now with Christopher Wray testimony? Why now, dude? For 2 years, you're telling us this has been going on for 2 years. You've been watching it. You know it's going on. But your priorities have been to harass conservatives, arrest journalists like Steve Baker, who brought out truth and exposed you people on January 6th. Your priorities is to go arrest him. Your priorities is to go arrest somebody in front of an abortion clinic. Your priorities is to go arrest somebody and harass them who are parents of their students at who are concerned and voicing their opinions at school board meetings. That's your priorities, man.
Yeah. And you know what else is your priorities? Taking our money to go after conservatives. Because this right here this burned my butt. The budget and staff. I'm going to read this because it really just drove me crazy. The Select Committee leveraged its unlimited budget to hire Hollywood producers and consultants to push the Select Committee's narrative to the American public. The Select Committee also spent a significant amount of taxpayer dollars on outside contractors. Based on the House of Representatives Statement of Diversement, the Select Committee spent $13,840,000 in 2021 and 2022 combined. However, it is estimated that the Select Committee spent around $19 million in other expenses. In comparison, this amount is significantly higher than the $7 million spent by the Select Committee on Benghazi, which is the only Select Committee in history to operate with the same blank check appropriations. So why is it that the Democrats always get their Select Committee and all the money that they want? Why? Why do you let them do this? I don't understand it. Why is my money paying for these January 6 people to be put in prison and taken to court and all of these committee things and Hollywood and producers? I'm flabbergasted.
Because all of that is just a distraction to keep you from asking the real questions, which is what's your part in it, and why aren't you standing before a judge facing conviction for your part in it? Look, that whole effort was not a one-sided Democrat affair. There's Republicans on that. This is our government knowing that their agenda is threatened, and they have done each and everything they could do to jail their political opponent. Sounds like communism to me. Sounds like totalitarianism to me.
Sounds like the government versus the people.
Is this thing working?
Rise up.
Well, hey, everybody, that's it for today. Thanks for listening, and I hope you've enjoyed the show. Hope you've learned some things about what's going on around us in the nation and in your communities. You know, we couldn't do this without your continued support either. We appreciate all of you showing up, taking the time to listen to us today. So please, like I say, make sure to hit the like button, share our show with all your friends. We'll see you next time on Is This Thing Working? And as always, I'm James, and that's my lovely co-host over there,
Denise.
and we'll see you next time.
We're out.